All right. Thanks for coming back to Shooting It Straight. This is a kind of follow-up video to the range demonstration shooting video that I did earlier. I didn't include this little portion of it because I wanted to keep that portion of it fairly short. It was long anyway, but this one is going to be really short. And by the way, man, my range demonstrations, when I reviewed it, that just goes to show what happens when you slack off on practicing. All right. I watched it and I thought, Jesus Christ, that is sluggish. It's slow. And I noticed that there was a couple of small things that I didn't do quite right. I didn't have quite the right grip on it for some reason. But now, in my defense, of course, I got to defend myself. I really haven't been able to practice much at all this year, or in the last couple of years, actually. Very rarely have I stepped out back. So I am, I am losing some of that. And lack of practice will, those skills are depreciable, okay? They expire, they go away over time. You got to keep up on it. But I finally got my backstop fixed, and I happened to have somebody over yesterday to help at the time, so I felt like I needed to take advantage of that situation. And although my performance was lacking, I'm sure you were able to understand the technique itself, which is all that really matters. You're younger. You're going to be able to go a lot faster than I would. Okay, and you're going to be a lot smoother than I am. But you just got to practice. That's all. But right now, I kind of feel it's necessary to kind of preempt what I already know will be a major point of contention among the pro-Isosceles groups. Now, I'm not condemning the Isosceles stance or anything, style or anything like that. Okay, it's a good stance. It has its place. Defensive shooting is not that place. Okay, that's my point. And I want to address this. Contrary to what experts continue to claim, the Isosceles stance is not so much of a fighting stance, as it is an athletic stance. Okay, that's what it really is. It's an athletic stance. All right, a bladed stance, on the other hand, well, that is a fighting stance. Okay? And again, what many people claim, even the experts, what many people claim is it is not, the Isosceles is not a natural instinct. Okay? It's not a natural instinct to square up to or square off with or chest to chest with someone or something that you feel is about to fatally attack you. That is not a natural instinct. Not of a human anyway. You want to argue with that? Because the proof is in literally hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of CCTV videos on YouTube right now. Go back and look at some of those videos from ASP, Active Self-Protection. Go on that website and look through some of those. I spent 2 months reviewing hundreds of those videos in preparation for this video today. And you want to know what they show? based on what I observed, about 85% of all victims and even attackers are clearly shown to be in some variation of a bladed stance during the incident or fight. Now, why do you think that is? Well, it's because that is our natural position in a deadly confrontation. All right? We shield our vital organs in order to protect those vital organs. And we do that by turning away, also known as blading or quartering. We do not bare our chest out to an attacker by standing in a wide open isosceles position. In one video, an off-duty cop was shot once in the right chest at a distance of about 15 feet. Now he was backed up against the wall. Okay, now he later died. The cop was in a picture-perfect isosceles stance when he was shot. Now, could a bladed position have helped this cop? Well, that's hard to say, but if it offers even a small advantage, I'll take that. Let me put this up. I can't seem to do two things at once. So, fucking. Yeah, I didn't shoot much at all yesterday, but I clean my guns every single time I get back from the range. I don't care how many shots I put through it, I clean it. If it's nothing more than just wiping down the residue off of it. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this in a minute because I get sidetracked. I can't concentrate good. Now, a human's natural response to a perceived deadly attack is to immediately shield his vital organs to protect them from injury, not to brazenly expose them like you're given an invitation for an easy attack. I even had a very well-known defensive trainer tell me that, and I'm going to quote here, it is impossible to blade your body when you're under stress. Now that's what he told me that after I made a comment that I disagreed with his video regarding the matter. He's a big proponent of the isosceles stance and argued that was a natural instinctual stance to get into in a confrontation. And I disagreed. It is impossible to blade under stress, he said. Well, that's odd, because blading was exactly my response when a man lunged at me in his living room, sitting on his couch, jumped up and lunged at me with a kitchen knife. We later found out. I said it was a machete because the damn thing looked about that big, but it turned out to be a kitchen knife. Back in 1991. Alright, so don't tell me that you can't blade under high stress. I know for a fact you can. Turning away or blading was a natural instinct for me. And yes, you can draw and shoot accurately from that body position, that bladed position. No problem. I damn sure didn't poke my chest out for him to stab, that's for sure. And, so the whole squaring up to your attacker is a natural instinct thing. Let me explain that. That started with one person's 45-year-old study. This study took place over 45 years ago with one guy over a small handful of police shootings that he investigated, in which this guy somehow came to the conclusion that a majority of those officers instinctively went into some type of isosceles stance when returning fire. Now, after a while, a few other defensive trainers, wanting to make a name for themselves, well, they conducted simulated experiments or simulations and determined that they had similar results. Well, those experiments and interpretations are severely lacking in relevance to actual reality. They are far too subjective, and they're really nothing short of being mere supposition. Thus, they are completely invalid. Back then, they didn't have millions of CCTV videos to review, but we have them today. And they show the complete opposite of what those studies and simulations reported. The fact is, people blade when they perceive a lethal threat coming at them, and it doesn't take a PhD to figure out why. Yet despite this evidence, defensive trainers all over the place still today refuse to train students in anything else but the tired old target shooting competitive isosceles stance. Now, they do this because they're either lacking knowledge or they're lacking experience in face-to-face deadly force. Or perhaps they're just afraid to go against mainstream defensive training standards. Well, I'm not. I go with what I know works and has been proven to work. And listen, let's combat this too. This crap about but a bullet can hit the unprotected area between the vest panels if you're bladed on the sides. Look, just stop with your idiocy, all right? Vests have been made with side panels and issued to cops for more than 30 years now. And what concealed carrier do you know of walks around wearing a ballistic vest anyway? You don't wear it, so what are you worried about it for? Cops have side panels. Their vests have side panels. So they don't have to worry about any bullet going between there. All right, last point. Let's stop with this whole organ stacking bullshit. For some reason, the haters of the bladed stance seem to think that all of our internal organs are neatly stacked side by side like books on a fucking bookshelf. And one bullet can pass completely through from one side all the way to the other side, hitting dozens of organs. That is utter bullshit. Try flipping through a biology book once in your life, people. You'll quickly see that a single bullet can hit 2, possibly even 3 organs, whether the bullet comes from a lateral or side shot, like a bladed stance, or a frontal shot, as in an isosceles stance. Either way, it has the possibility of hitting multiple organs. And when I say multiple organs, I'm talking only 2, possibly 3. Additionally, in a bladed stance, all organs have protection by the ribs and the support arm. The bullet has to go through that support arm where it may hit bone, and then it has to make its way through the ribs where it may hit a rib too. All that slows that bullet down a lot if it doesn't deflect it completely. In an isosceles stance, no organ below the diaphragm or sternum area has any protection at all, nor does either femoral artery. Now, which shooting stance you decide to practice, well, that's a personal choice. But whatever stance you decide to use, there are a couple of important tips that apply to both, I think. First, keep your knees and elbows unlocked. Don't lock them out. There's just no need for it, and you need that flexibility. The only thing that should ever be locked are your wrists. That's it. That's the only thing you need to keep locked. Second, don't stand straight up and don't lean back. Always lean slightly forward and slightly bend your knees, just slightly, and then slightly lean in towards the target. Okay? Those tips will assist with recoil control and balance. All right? So, thanks for watching this video. Keep an eye out for more actual range videos because I have a retention shooting video to do that you need to see. And remember this. It's not the great shot that wins a gunfight. It's all the little mistakes that you don't make that will win that gunfight. Okay? Alright, I'm Antonius, and man, I'm only shooting it straight with you. Ciao.